Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah me, I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah me, I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, Ponjus and Bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Riel Gunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on effective leadership. So in New Jersey, we have Christopher Hampton. In Georgia, we're going to have Vera Thomas. And in North Carolina, we have Lakia Crutchfield. And in Tennessee, we have Judy Hartman. In Michigan, we're going to have Angela Brand. And again, in Michigan, we have Lisa Everett Jones. And then going to England, London, we have Unisa Kamara. So at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris Hampton. I'm also known as the Champ or Champ I Am. And I'm a motivational speaker that focuses on personal leadership, helping you to embrace your purpose and release the champ I am that's on the inside of you. So I'm excited to be a part of the group today and part of this conversation. And get ready. You're going to hear a lot of good information today. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I believe Vera is going to join us shortly. So you can go ahead, Lakia.
Hello, everyone. I am Lakia Crutchfield, also known as Kia Chronicles. I am a growth mindset and communication expert. I help individuals overcome barriers to come to the best version of themselves, and I am excited to be here today to talk about growth.
Amazing, amazing. You can go ahead, Judy.
Hi, my name is Judy Hartman, and I am an inspirational speaker, and my specialty is with grief because I want people to understand that there is life after death. There's your life. So I love to help people, inspire them to move on with life, living their best life.
I love it. I love it. You can go ahead, Lisa.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you're coming from. I'm Lisa Yvette Jones, known as that Chief Encouragement, Inspirational, and Empowerment Coach, Counselor, and Consultant, best-selling author, and international speaker. I have a passion, not only for leaders caring for those in their care, but a leader must also care for self, because self-care isn't selfish, it is necessary. Okay, so I'm Lisa Yvette Jones. Glad to be here.
Amazing, amazing. You can go ahead, Unisa.
Well, thank you. My name is Unisa Kamara. I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm a motivational speaker, host of 2 TV shows, international youth advocate, and a serial entrepreneur, which gives you a lot of headache. But it's just a pleasure to be here.
Oh my goodness. So now you can really tell that we are really surrounded by greatness. So Chris, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway of New Jersey. What will your billboard say?
I just thought about this like right on the spot. Okay. All right. I would put a billboard right on the highway where everybody's driving by And I would say, make a deposit because life is not free.
Make a deposit because life is not free. I love it. I love it. I love it. How about you? Who is next year? How about you, Lakia? What will your billboard say? Maybe your billboard is already there. I don't know. What will your billboard say?
When I thought about answering this question, I feel like it would be one of my favorite sayings: live full, die empty.
Live full, die empty. I believe that's all our purpose here, to live full and die empty. I love it. I love it. How about you, Judy? What will your billboard say?
Okay, I would have to go with what I always tell people. There is life after death. Your life, live it.
I love it. Life after death. This is your life. Just live it. I love it. I love it. How about you, Lisa? What will your billboard say? Maybe it's already there in the busy highway of Michigan. What will it say?
Listen, it sounds like there's a theme resonating here. And when I thought about this, and I thought about people living their life on purpose. So my billboard would actually say, rob the grave of your purpose by living your purpose on purpose now.
Oh, yeah, you're taking over, Judy, now. You're taking over, Judy. I love it. I love it. How about you, Eunice? Maybe your billboard is already there in the busy highway of London. What will it say?
A simple mere hello.
Hello?
Just hello. Think about you driving and you just hear hello. It's just a thought of it.
Oh, wow. Well, you've just reminded me when the whole COVID started, like really, we didn't check on our loved ones. So a simple hello will mean everything. I love all of the billboards. Mine, I believe it can be the 7th one, driving down the busy highway, and it's going to say rise to greater heights. And it's coming. It's coming. So we're going to get started. Our first speaker for today is going to be Christopher Hampton. Christopher Hampton is the founder of the Champ I Am organization. Chris enjoys challenging entrepreneurs, leaders, as well as youth organizations to break out of their comfort zone, empowering and equipping them to release their inner champ. Chris has been called a motivational teacher. He is a sought after for his ability to present life-changing messages in an inspirational, empowering, and educational style. Chris challenges his audience to live their lives on purpose, pursue their passions, and to live by vision and not by sight. Wow, wow, I love that. Everyone has an inner champ. So Chris is committed to help you release the champ I am in you. So kings and queens, in the interest of time, please join me and welcome Christopher Hampton. You are muted. You are muted, Chris.
Gave you a great introduction already. All right. Hi, everybody. It is awesome to be in this group of awesome leaders and life coaches. And my topic today is going to be called the art of being uncomfortable. The art of being uncomfortable. And it's dealing right now with you dealing with your comfort zone. So I have a little bit of time that I'm going to share with you. So let's break down what a comfort zone is. The Cambridge Dictionary says that a comfort zone is a situation in which you feel that you are comfortable and which your ability and determination has not been tested. What that basically is saying, it's a fancy word for saying you are settling. You are no longer challenging yourself to do better. And, there's situations that we run into that we can outgrow a small situation. You can outgrow a relationship. You can grow beyond the relationship. You can grow beyond the job. You can grow beyond what is a present opportunity, which is no longer an opportunity anymore because you've outgrown it. So the challenge is why do we stay comfortable? Because we have a sense, when we get comfortable, we're like, I'd rather deal with what's in front of me than go forward and deal with what's not known. Okay. And that's a survival instinct. And what I want you to do is that the people that are successful are not survivors. They're overcoming. We have an overwhelming victorious mentality, right? So when I look at the word survive says to manage, to keep going in a difficult situation. I like synonyms, even though I can't pronounce the word right. Synonyms, right? Synonyms for surviving is to remain alive, sustain oneself, to cling to life, to pull through, to hold on, to hold out, to make linger, to stay around, and just to exist. That doesn't make me want to feel like I'm to get the warm fuzzies on the inside that says that I'm going anywhere near successful. Because successful is not about you just standing on and holding on. Successful is for you accomplishing the goals that you have set before you. Somebody in the text or wherever you're watching on the virtual world, put down there that I am bigger than this life. I am bigger than this life. And it's time for us to start living that bigger life. So why is it that we never step out of our comfort zone? A lot of us don't step out of our comfort zone because of one word: fear. Fear. And all of a sudden, all my motivational speakers have in their mind, false evidence that appears real. That we have to say, face forward everything and run, and we have all these acronyms for fear, but fear is not necessarily a bad thing. Fear is that defense mechanism that lets you know that there's something that needs to change, or there's something that's wrong. But it's the response to your fears that make a difference. Because whenever fear gets to the point that it confines you, constricts you, and controls you, that's the fear that we don't need. And that's the fear that you're going to have to learn how to overcome. And there are 3 fears that everyone comes across in some time of their life when it comes to coming out of your comfort zone. The first fear is the fear of rejection. And he's like, I want to go out for this job interview. I want to go out to the next level me. I want to go into this relationship. But what if they reject me? Well, when you realize what the secret behind dealing with rejection is, you realize that the people that are rejecting you are not necessarily for you. And when you realize that you are special all by yourself and that you're not meant to be with everybody, your eyes are looking for the ones that you belong to. So when I understood that I'm not meant for everybody, and you look at Champ I Am and say, he's all right, there's somebody out there that thinks I'm fabulous. And that's the one I'm spending my time, my focus, and my attention to, is identifying that. Because the difference between someone who is an antique, a junk collector and an antique owner is the different way that they can see and identify what is valuable. Junk people are just collecting junk. Antique says, no, that's worth something. The second fear is the fear of failure. And I hear a lot of you saying, I don't want to step out because what if I fail? And the problem is that we teach failure wrong. We teach failure as an identity. So some of you, when you fail, you're going back and you're saying, I failed, I failed, I failed, I failed, I failed. I'm a failure. And failure is a problem in the process. It's not you. It's not your identity. So that tells me that it's a process thing, that if I fix the problem in the process, I'm able to succeed in what I'm going to. So I need you to change it. You're not a failure, you failed. And it's okay that you failed. Because if you can find out what you did wrong and fix it, you'll be successful. The last fear is the fear of success. What? And this is something that I fear with. I dealt with and I wrestled with. I didn't step out as a speaker, and I didn't step out, and I just started this 6-year journey right now, my 6th year going into my 7th. And I didn't start as a speaker because I said, what if they don't hire me? What if no one talks to me? What if nobody knows my name? Nobody knows. What if I do out there? But what if I succeed? And you're like, oh my God, the responsibility. Now I'm global. I got to learn the time zones. I got to be up on time. I got to be able to have a business structure. I got to be able to have accountability. I got to be able to deal with massive amounts of money that's coming in. How do I deal with the overwhelming and heavy wealth? You're like, who has a fear of that? But that's a real fear. Because that's next level responsibility. Some of you are not going for that position, because you're afraid that if you get there, you'll be successful and you have to deal with the responsibility But I'm going to give you the answer to handling all of those fears. And I'm going to close out with this. The way that you deal with fear is be able to do this. Say with me, fearless. Fearless. I'm not saying fearless. I'm not saying be the people like Rambo that runs into the militarized zone and shoots everybody else, and the only person that survives is Rambo. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to fear less. But here's how you fear less. The more I know, I fear less. You need to be able to differentiate between fact and truth. The fact is that most businesses don't make it past their 5th year. The truth is that doesn't apply to me. The fact is that single parent homes have more challenges financially. The truth is that does not have to apply to me. I need to find a higher truth to the fact that's around me. Because just because a fact doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So the more information that I learn about being successful, the more information that I learn about what it is to live at the next level, the more that I get accountability at the next level, I begin to fear less. My name is Chris Hampton, and I hope I challenged you to get outside your comfort zone and get past your fear and live in that fearless mentality. Thank you for hearing me today.
Oh my goodness, Chris, just drop the mic. Oh my goodness. You know, I've been saying fearless. Now you've just made me to think twice. Oh, it's fearless. Wow, you've mentioned that we should get out of our comfort zones by confronting the fears that keep us where we are comfortable. And you've mentioned the fear of rejection, the fear of failure. And when you mentioned the fear of success, I was like, what? Is there anything like that? Oh my goodness. And the fear of success you've mentioned, that we always ask ourselves, what if, but what if I succeed? What if I go out there and prove to the world that, yes, I can do it? What if it's that way? So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing such a profound message, much needed message of the century. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Right now, we're going to go to North Carolina. We're going to go to Lakia Crutchfield. Lakia Crutchfield is a wife, mother, educator, growth mindset, and communication expert. Her system gives a proven 3-step plan to assist in making decisions throughout life as we grow and change. She absolutely loves changing lives and living hers unapologetically. Lakia is a 6-figure income earner, author, educator, and a growth mindset and communication expert. She assists women who struggle with who they are to move forward successfully with her 3-step system. Books Lakia has authored My Flesh is Killing Me, and she also co-authored Soul Cries. So Kings and Queens, please join me and welcome Lakia Crutchfield.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here talking about something that I absolutely love and that I've experienced myself, growth. So many people feel like growth is just that thing that happens automatically. It happens with our bodies automatically when we put in fuel, but it does not happen with our mentality and professionalism. And that is something that so many of us have got to get into our heads. But you know, a lot of times it takes a major traumatic experience, or as Chris, the champ I am, just said, for us to get uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that we have no other choice but to move, because it takes a decision. It takes a decision to realize that I've got to do something different in order to get something different. And that is what I realized when I began this growth mindset journey. It took a major traumatic experience for me. It took a death for me. I felt like I was walking around with a mask on. And do you know, so many people do the same thing. 70% of our young ladies walk around with low self-esteem. 40% of our young men walk around with low self-esteem. That means so many of us as adults are walking around with masks because we're not comfortable to let the people see the person inside our heads. That means we have to get uncomfortable or come to a traumatic experience in order to make a decision to change our own lives. Can you believe that? So many people feel like we come here with a fixed mindset, and I speak on growth mindset and fixed mindset. Fixed mindset means people feel like we come here with this phenomenal talent, and if you don't have it, then you're just a regular everyday person. But growth mindset says that I fail forward. I try until success comes. And that's what we need to do in order to grow. When we're growing, mindset matters. She talked about mindset, and Chris, the champ I am, talked about mindset. It's like he just kind of rolled right on into me, and I loved it because mindset does matter, because we have so many individuals that feel like they can't because of the situation. So many people look at influence and positive influence as this awesome thing, but you have to think about everybody's mindset. Some people are not in the right mindset to receive the positive influence, so it's not actually positive for them. I can remember as a child sitting watching The Cosby Show, and that was one of my absolute favorites because I love the family dynamic, because that was something I did not have. But what it did for me at that time is it reminded me that I didn't have it, more so than reminding me that it was something that I could achieve. So it took a traumatic experience in my 20s, losing someone dear to me, for me to realize that I was walking around with so many masks. And at that time, during that experience, I realized that the mask had cracked and all of me was seeping out. And I had to decide, am I going to stay in this pit that I'm in right now with this mask, this cracked mask, where I have all of these emotions seeping out, or am I going to step up to the plate and be the person that I've been called to be? I had children to live for, so I had to step up to the plate. So mindset really matters. You've got to think about where they are in life and why. And not only that, they got to have a made up mind. If they don't make up their mind to be who they are called to be, there is nothing we can do. And I know that sounds awful, and my love and cliche and that I always say is changing lives one day at a time. But we can't change them if they don't want to be changed. So we have to meet them where they are. And that's something that I absolutely love about growth mindset, because it meets you where you are. Nobody can tell you how much you need to grow and how fast you need to get there. But when you're growing, for this type of growth we're talking about today on Rising to Greater Heights, you got to make a decision. You got to make sure your mindset is straight. And you got to make the decision to make up your mind to be who you've been called to be.
Oh my goodness, Lakia. Oh my goodness, sorry. I like we just had a challenge with our other speaker, so I was just dealing with her. I'm so sorry. Like you've mentioned the growth mindset. The growth mindset is really, really needed in everything that we do, really. Because if you don't have the growth mindset, you have the other mindset that I don't want to mention that will not take you anywhere. So thank you, Lakia, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you. So now we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down to Judy. Judy Hartman. Judy is a God-loving mother, United States Army veteran, healthcare worker, entrepreneur, and an inspirational speaker. As an inspirational speaker, Judy is helping her listeners to overcome the most horrific tragedy imaginable, the loss of a child. After working in healthcare for 18 years, after she worked, okay, I kind of lost your bio, Judy, forgive me. Oh yeah, after working in healthcare for 18 years, aiding those with closed head brain injuries, she lost her 16-year-old daughter to viral meningitis in the blink of an eye. Judy is telling her story to those who are in need of healing from life's hardship and tragedies, with the goal of restoring love and faith to those searching for their own answers. With the threads of her tragic past and her faith in God, she is weaving a brighter future by telling the world how God has pulled her through the depths of hopelessness. So in the interest of time, please join me and welcome Judy Hartman.
Good morning. So I am talking about a subject that is very hard for people that a lot of us don't want to talk about, with very good cause: death. It was 12 years ago that I found myself in a place, standing in a hospital, wondering what was going on with my own daughter, yelling out, "Is she breathing? Is she breathing? Is she breathing?" And I'm telling you, it is one of the worst things a parent wants to go through. It's a nightmare. In the aspect of her being sick over the weekend, she went into the hospital and was diagnosed with viral meningitis. Now, mind you, we were told that she would be coming home. There's viral meningitis and there's bacterial meningitis, and they diagnosed her with viral. We'll put you on an antibiotic. She'll be fine. She'll be coming home. So what happened? That the very next day she was brain dead. Now I'm sharing this to tell you that things in life happen. They change in the blink of an eye. It took me to a place where I was beyond numb. When we lose someone, it knocks us down. It does. And I want to touch base on that of a child, because when you lose a parent, and I have lost both my parents within the past 3-4 years, it hurts, but yet we expect it. So it's not going to take the pain away any less, but we're a little more prepared for that because we know eventually we all have a time frame. But when it comes to your child, we always think we're going to outlive them. You don't even think for a second that you're going to lose one of your own. It's just not the normal order. So when that happens, it took me down this road. And like I mentioned, you know, at first I was very, very numb. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know what was going on, you know, and I found myself in a place where I was just in bed and numb and sometimes crying and just really didn't know what to do. But what I want to share with you is that through the process, I am so grateful that I have a faith in God. Because when it came down to it, through the whole ordeal of it all, I knew that she belonged to God before me. So as you go through the grief process, which is a lifetime process, and don't let anybody tell you different, thinking that you have to get over it, or aren't you, you know, doing this, or what are you doing? Why are you still upset? Why are you angry? Why are you crying? They don't understand it unless you've been through it. It hurts, and you have to find a new way to live with it. So you end up with a new lifestyle. You know, it's not, I'm definitely not talking about the lifestyle of your finances or what you do on that aspect. You have a whole new lifestyle because you had to create a new way to live your life without that person physically being here. God has been my rock hold on that. He showed me that there is, and it's to me, it sounds so cliche because I say it all the time anymore, that there is life after death. There's your life. And only God gave me that, because at first when I thought it, I was like, what are you talking about? But there is, because I had to realize that I still had my life to live. I still had 2 other children and they still needed their mom. So you can't just give up and lay there forever. You have to be that inspiring person to learn a new way to cope with it, so that other people can see, when they see that you're dealing with it and that you're starting to live again, believe it or not, they're looking up to you and saying, hey, if she can do it, if he can do it, so can I. And they'll also come to you and saying, hey, how are you doing this? So my number one is God, because he's going to make a way. Even when you may not see a way or feel a way, he's going to make you a way. And you have to allow yourself to feel the pain of that loss in order to grow from that pain. The second thing that I learned was that your family, friends, and the church, they're there for you. And it's real easy to push people away because you're hurting so much and want to isolate yourself. Let them help you because they have your best interest at heart. You see, they let me go through my time frame of hurting, but they didn't let me stay there. And that was a very beautiful thing. And my third thing is that you have to find your why. What is it that is bigger than you that gives you a purpose, a reason to go on? Live for the one you lost. Live their legacy out. You know, they served a purpose while they were here. Don't let that die out, because we're still alive and we can carry that on for them, because they had a purpose to make a change in this world. My name is Judy Amber, and I want you, the biggest takeaway I want you to take away is that grief has no rules. You go at it at your pace, your feelings. It's okay to cry. When you're crying, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're hurting because you love them and you miss them. That's simple. Live your best life, guys. Live it for you, and be okay with talk about the elephant in the room, because your loved one, they still love you and they're going to be in your heart and your mind forever. Thank you.
Oh, wow, Judy. Oh, my goodness. I know how it feels like to lose a loved one. Like, to me, this year, I've lost a lot. So this message is really speaking to me. But you've mentioned that we are created to live our lives, even if we'll have to live after losing our loved ones, because we believe in the life after death, because we know that God will make a way, even if we don't see a way, even if we feel like we can't even find the way, but we believe that he's leading. So thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy, for sharing this message. I believe your topic really, more especially in these circumstances, in this COVID-19 pandemic, it just deserves a day. Grief. It deserves a day for you to talk about it over and over again. So thank you, Judy. Thank you. So now we're gonna go to Coach AB, Angela Brenda. Angela Brenda in Michigan. Have you ever heard of the freckle-faced female speaker trailblazer who was taking the speaking industry by storm? Well, now you have, because Angela Brenda, also affectionately known as the Girl on Fire, Coach AB, who helps women turn her mess into her money-making message. She created the Fire Speaking Academy for ambitious, driven women to step on any stage and just kill it. And Coach AB Coaching Academy, she also founded AB Coaching Academy to help those who have a desire to transform lives of others through coaching. AB is a world-class master fire with an FIRE trainer and the phenomenal Women Trailblazer of the Year recipient, 2018 best-selling author. She is on a mission to ignite the fire of 1 million women and will not stop at anything until her assignment is fulfilled, and stands on living a full life and dying empty. Brand knows all too well how it feels to be talented and frustrated, gifted but broke, knowing her potential is just in arm's reach. And that is why the passion burns deep within her to see every woman she come in contact be ignited to speak, write, and coach in her fire. That's embrace her femininity, develop her impact, tap into her riches to create her extraordinary life. She wants every woman to be fierce, be fabulous, and be free. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Angela Brand.
Yeah.
Awesome. Look, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've been praying for this moment for God to really give me a word to give to the leaders that are listening globally. And this is what he gave me. He said, every leader should lead with fire and use their voice to speak a fiery message that will pull their audience out of the graves of despair, out of the graves of discouragement, out of the graves of lack, out of the graves of disconnect, and speaking to reunite them with their purpose, with their dreams, with everything that he has for them. So I'm going to drop 4 voices that he wants every leader to leave here with, knowing that they are ordained to be on this earth at this present time to light a fire under everybody that will hear their voice. The first voice is the feminine voice. This is the voice that expands, the voice that reunites, the voice that gives the possibilities of what your audience and what your clients and what your families and those people will hear you speak. Your job as a leader, as a trailblazer, as a game changer across the globe is to reunite people back to God, back to their purpose, back to their dreams, back to their families, and embrace their higher selves. The second voice that every leader should have is an impactful voice. This is a voice that transforms people's lives. This is the voice that causes people to rise up and walk in the authority that God gave them. This is the impactful voice that when people hear you, the foundations of their earth will shake and pull them back to the place where they're supposed to be. The third voice is the rich voice, is providing the content that they need, the training that they need to go and do and all things that God wants them to do. This rich voice is a voice that is so full of substance, that is so full of clarity, that is so concise, that speaks with intention to cause them to rise up and be the leader that they're supposed to be. Now, the fourth voice is the extraordinary voice. This is the voice that causes you to shine. This is the voice that causes you to rise up and leave mediocrity at the door. This is the voice that causes you to be extra every time you walk into a room as a leader. This is the voice that causes you to be great, to speak great things, to speak wealth and prosperity into the people that are listening to you. This is the extraordinary voice that God has gifted everybody with. You have no right to play small with your voice. You have a right. You do not have a right to give little things, to give from an empty cup. Your job as fire leaders is to fill the cup of everybody who's listening to you, is to give 100% of you, not the 30% that you left at home, not the 30% that you're thinking about, oh, woe is me, not the 40% that you're thinking about your situation, but the 100% that is full of the oil and the anointing that God has gifted every one of us. It's the 100% full that you show up and you live full out. These are the 4 voices that if you begin to apply to your speaking business, your coaching business, your ministry as pastors, the community leaders, the advocates, these 4 voices will not only shift your audience life, but they will shift your life and they will cause the fire to be ignited within you. As leaders, we have to lead with fire. We have to lead this dying world with fire and bring them out of still thinking about the pandemic, still thinking about COVID and the effects of COVID into the next level that God wants them to. This is a time where fire leaders use the 4 voices, the feminine voice, the impactful voice, the rich voice, the extraordinary voice, to show the glory of God on earth, and that the kingdom exists not only in them, but in you as the leader. It's time for the leaders to rise to greater heights, to use their voice to shape the foundations of this world. My name is Angela Brand, the Girl on Fire, and I am on a mission to ignite the fire of 1 million individuals who are ready to speak, write, and coach in their fire and make a difference in the world and set ablaze. Thank you, and God bless you.
Oh my goodness, Angela. Angela just dropped the mic. Indeed, you are on fire. And I'm on fire too, because it's contagious. And you've mentioned that we'll have to develop our impact and tap into our own riches. We'll have to create our own extraordinary life. I believe I am ready. I am ready to do that. So thank you. Thank you so much, Angela, for sharing such a profound message. Thank you. Now we are going down to Ohio. No, we're going to Michigan again. We're going there to Lisa Evie Jones. Lisa Evie Jones is a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, and an international speaker, best-selling author, and the chief caring officer of I Care Leadership LLC. Lisa has decades of award-winning leadership mentorship, coaching, training, and development experience. Lisa, also known as the caring leader who supports high-achieving, aspiring, and seasoned professional women leaders who want to maximize their leadership influence while transforming and humanizing the employee experience, heads, hands, and heart for self and for others. As a stage 3 cervical cancer conqueror, and after releasing over 200 pounds, Lisa challenges leaders to tap into their influential superpower of self-care, the journey of self-care, care as in C-A-R-E, cultivating authentic relationships to empower begins with self. So as a leader, self-care is not weak leadership or selfish leadership, but it is necessary leadership. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Lisa Evie Jones.
Hello, everyone. And thank you so very much, Rael. I cannot tell you how thankful I am for this wonderful opportunity. I did not know that I was going to share the stage with some phenomenal people. So I have been taking notes. I wrote down the fire. Okay, I have written down everything. So I do appreciate this time. Thank you so very much. And it's so good to share the stage once again too with Judy. We traveled the circuit of the leadership experience tour together. So it's great to do that. I am that chief encouragement, inspirational, and empowerment coach, counselor, and consultant, best-selling author, and yes, all of the other accolades that you said there. But you know what? One of the things that I really am is one of those who is taking a look in the mirror and realizing that as a leader, it is not enough for me to care for those in my care if I'm not caring for myself. I spent years letting people know the success behind my leadership and my outstanding teams. And all of that was centered on the fact that I showed that I cared. But then the Lord showed me, he said, now I need you to start talking to the leaders on another level. I need you to start talking to the leaders and letting the leaders know it is not enough for you to care for those in your care. It is not enough for you to just put all your focus in them and you are neglecting yourself. So leaders, I'm talking to you today. And today I am going to give you 7 success transformational strategies that has helped me as I have conquered and come through stage 3 cervical cancer with no symptoms whatsoever, okay? And had that deadliness growing inside of me and then releasing over 200 pounds. And I'm not done because I have about another 32 pounds I want to go. And if it's more than that, so be it. But I'm on a mission. You know, back in 2009, I received that diagnosis. And I was just, just bewildered by it because I said, it just didn't make sense. That's the bewilderment. My intelligent mind, I just said, that doesn't make sense. There is no woman in my, family with cancer. There is none of that. How? Then I did a little research and the research showed, oh my goodness, that obesity and cancer, there's a link. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not out there saying that everyone who is obese is going to come down with cancer. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there is a link to obesity. Listen, the CDC did a study and that showed that 40% of all cancers in the United States, out of all of those, 13 of the major cancers have a direct link to obesity. So I only say that to let you know that leaders, it is time to put a lot of that care into yourself. Here's another thing I want you to do. I said I was going to give you 7 success strategies. I'm going to give that to you. I want you to write down the word success. SUCCESS. Write that down your paper vertically. SUCCESS. And let me give you some of those, transformational strategies that has really helped me through this 10-year journey. So now, and actually, I'm a 12-year conqueror of cancer and forever, because what the Lord told me was, yeah, the doctors may have given you a diagnosis of stage 3 cervical cancer and 2 death sentences, but I'm giving you the prognosis of life. You shall live and not die, and this will never return again. So listen, I am not telling you not to trust doctors, but I had to go to my chief physician, and then we in partnership came together and let the doctors know what the prognosis was going to be. So here I am, and I'm here to stay, okay, until God says otherwise. So the S in success, of course, self-care. And you heard it in my bio. Self-care is not selfish, and it is not weak leadership. I know sometimes there are leaders who think, oh, Lisa, you want me to go to Sedona and you want me to meditate. Will that work for you? Then do it, okay? But whatever it takes for you to start focusing on yourself so that you know that you can be in right standing with your people. Listen, there are people leaving jobs every day, not because of pay, not because of other issues, but guess what? They're leaving because of their leaders. They're leaving because of their bosses, because some of their bosses just do not have their emotional intelligence in check. They do not have their mental state in check. They do not have a lot of things in check. And what they're doing is all of that is spilling out. Okay, and it is being taken out on those in your care. So that's why the Lord is very strategic in this. He was like, yeah, you spent a lot of years, talking to leaders about, taking care of those in their care. But right now, I want you to focus on talking to the leaders about taking care of themselves. What do they tell us on the airplane? They say, put on your mask before you help someone else, right? So I'm here to tell you to put on your success mask right now. The you, oh my goodness, the you. Are you up to date with your numbers? And do you understand them? Are you up to date with your weight? Do you know how much you weigh? Do you know what your blood pressure is? And do you know if it's in a healthy range? Okay. What about your cholesterol level? Are you aware of what your blood type is? Do you know all of that makes a difference in how you function every day, including the way that I eat? There's a book out there by Dr. Diadamo that says, eat right for your blood type. And oh my goodness, do you know that my doctors never read the book? But do you know that my diet is in line with my blood type? It really is. Okay, I know I'm not supposed to have tomatoes, but they're a little good. They're really kind of good. And I like them with a few things. So I want you to know that you need to be updated on your numbers. We get updated on everything else. There's time, for the session today, I received an update in my calendar that told me it was time for it, right? So why don't you make sure that you are up to date on all of your numbers? Okay. The first C is loaded. It's that care. It's cultivating that authentic relationship to empower. Listen, we can't do that unless we're going to do it with others. So what I want you to do is find a way that you are going to really cultivate a relationship with yourself. Isn't it okay to love on you? Isn't it okay to love you? It is. I'm giving you permission. That's rhetorical. I'm telling you now, it is okay to love you. So whatever it takes for you to cultivate, whatever it takes for you to get yourself in a position where you know that you matter, I want you to do that. Cultivate an authentic relationship with you to empower you. And then the second C is to calendar yourself. Do you know, like I said, I received a ding when it was time for this. I receive a ding when it's time for my next appointment. I'm going to receive a ding in a few minutes when it's time for me to go on another conference right after this one. But guess what? How many dings are in your calendar for you? Really, how many? I put all my appointments in my calendars. I make sure that I put the things, even time that I want to read. There are times when I want to schedule some reading time. I'm blocking everything else out because guess what? I am going to pick up a book and I'm going to read it. I may only read one chapter, but I have scheduled that time for me because I may have something coming up or I just plain want to read. Okay. And then there are just times when you may have to block that time out. So make sure you schedule some time because leaders are readers, right? Then the E, be an example and be excited about it. Can you tell? Am I excited? I am so excited for life. I really am. But I want you to be an example. Do you know how much I love it when people come past me and say, Lisa, I'm getting my walk in. Lisa, or how are you doing in your meal prepping? I absolutely love meal prepping. So I love posting those on my Facebook page, and I love sharing that with people. This morning, I sent out the 50 squats for 31 days challenge to my entire district and asked them if they would join me on that. Some of my team members had joined me, but I said, why don't we get everyone involved? So I sent that out, and I am getting all kind of email responses now saying, Lisa, I didn't know about it. I'm going to join you. I'm going to join you. So here, be an example of what it takes to be a leader who is practicing self-care, okay? Wow. And then the S, the first S, I want you to shift. I want you to shift. Webster's dictionary says that shift is just a slight change in another direction, just a slight change. What is that slight change that you would have to do? Is it drinking a little bit more water? Start there. I'm not telling you to do the 50 squats. You can join me if you want. I've even added 2-pound weights to them too, so that I can get my arms really nice and firm. But what I want you to do, if you're not drinking enough water, shift. Remove one of those cups of coffee, remove one of those cups of, or bottles of pop or soda, or whatever you call it in your part of the woods. I call it pop. Some people call it soda. It depends on where we are. And maybe add another bottle of water, add some water to that. Hey, how about, you only have one flight of stairs to go up? Make a shift. And instead of taking the elevator, walk up that one flight of stairs, okay? You can do that today. I know you can. And then that last S, okay? That last S, I want you to make sure that you start today. Start today. You don't have to wait until January 1st. I know people make resolutions all the time about January 1st, but do you know your January 1st is right now? Do you know your January 1st can start today? So start today to make that difference in your life. Listen, Valerie Burton, who is now, she's a coach now with the John Maxwell team or what have you, and she has this affirmation, and I want all of you to raise your hands. This is in her book, Brave Enough to Succeed. Brave Enough to Succeed by Valerie Burton, okay? VALORIEBURTON. And she has here a declaration. So for those of you who are out there and you're serious about taking these 7 success strategies to transform your life as a leader and to get started, I want you to make this declaration with me. I choose to embrace today a fresh opportunity to move forward, even if yesterday was just plain awful and I was at my worst. I choose right now to forgive myself, let it go, make the best of the day in front of me. I will set a goal I can accomplish today. I will choose joy in the process. If I am facing the wrong direction, I choose to pivot toward the right one. If I have struggled with procrastination today, I choose today to take action because today is a new day. Make today your January 1st, and I tell you, you will be glad you did. This is Lisa Yvette Jones, your Chief Encouragement, Inspirational, and Empowerment Coach, Counselor, and Consultant. It has been a plum-pleasing pleasure being with each and every one of you. And in the words of my mentor, Les Brown, there is greatness still left in each and every one of you. Have a great one.
Oh, Lisa, oh my goodness. From today onwards, I'm gonna look at success the way you view it. I'm gonna look at that. And you've mentioned that self-care is not selfish. Like self-care, my me time really is a priority. Family can stop, work can stop. It's all about me. And I love that. You mentioned that we should start today. We shouldn't wait for January 1st to start our resolutions. It's either the New Year's resolutions or your life resolutions. So I'm ready, Lisa. Thank you so much for sharing such a profound message. It's much needed, And being a conqueror, really, I salute you, Lisa, and keep on spreading the light.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So now we are going to London, England. We have Unisa Kamara. Unisa Camara is the founder of Camara and Camara Workshops and Camara Youth in the United Kingdom. He is the host of 2 shows on Amaze TV, a psychological and a political show. And he works with Foxstar Film Productions as an actor and a global youth advocate. His straight from the heart passion and high energy will motivate individuals and entrepreneurs into achieving what they thought was or is impossible. As the word it's on its own, it says, I'm possible. Growing up in a bad neighborhood in Staten Island in New York, seeing his friends getting killed, his girlfriend dying his arms from a bullet to the head, and him being shot a couple of times, stabbed and incarcerated, he figured it was time for a change. So he built his first company, Black Lion Entertainment. Seeing what he was trying to avoid coming around him, guns and drugs, he walked away and opened Camara Homes, which gave him a peace of mind, helping families get into homes in safe neighborhoods. Kings and queens, in the interest of time, please join me and welcome Unisa Camara.
Wow, I feel so spoiled. I feel so pampered. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Again, wherever you are in the world, we acknowledge you and thank you for being here. As usual, you can be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. And that's to show what kind of individual you are. Let me just say, Chris, I love the fear aspect. Now, as many of you can tell, I'm going to expand on relationships. When Chris came on, he did not have an idea of who was going to say what. But I'm going to ask each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this. Chris spoke about fearless. Kia spoke about growth, the mindset. Judy, she lost her child. So she spoke of pain a parent goes through, which I can relate to. And Angela spoke about leader. So this all makes logic to me, kind of logical, because no one wants to ever think about losing their children or a child. So we have that fear. But the growth comes in, having that strong mindset to trust our children out there. And then Judy hit it when she stated that she lost her child, the fear that she was going through, but she's tried to build that resilience of trusting her child going out. And then Angela said, a leader. So when you lost a child, you automatically become either the victim or the victor. So the option is to become the victor. So you create things trying to help other kids, other youths out there that took your child away, like I'm doing. And then Lisa, she also spoke about leadership. But within all of this realm, ladies and gentlemen, she spoke about care. You have to have the compassion to do what you do. Again, I'm going to talk about relationships. Do you see how we came together from different parts of the world and we just built a relationship? Because each and every one of you, I can relate to. There are many people that are watching right now smiling because they can relate to you. And that's, they're building a relationship with you. We are social beings, ladies and gentlemen, so we're meant to connect. We build relationships on a daily basis without acknowledging it, but acknowledge it in another way. Judy and I can relate to her. That's a relationship. I might just head on the back channel and communicate. Each and every one of us, our relationships are different. Now, we look for one thing in a relationship, but in order for us to get a positive, feedback, we have to show empathy. We have to be transparent. You want someone to trust you that you get in a relationship with. You have humanity in you. You can make someone smile and somebody can make you smile. You can put trust into someone and someone can put trust into you. You have a relationship with your boss, your children, your friends. Each relationship is different, but each relationship brings you value. Now, I knew that I was going to talk about relationships because when I came on, my first indication to you was that I was a youth advocate. So that shows care. That shows I want to connect. I don't want to see injustice. My relationship. And then when I was asked a question, what would I want on my billboard? I said, hello. Just a mere acknowledgement. That's a relationship. You got it in you to build a relationship. Now, just take the time. As a motivational speaker, I want people to visualize my thoughts. Take a time. Just relax for a minute. I want you to think about each speaker that you're looking at. Do you feel a certain connection with anyone? It resonates to you. Something that they said, their voice. This is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Building a relationship should not be as complicated as some people think they are. Everything happens at the right time. And that was also stated here today. This is your time. You're not meant to be alone. Every relationship is different. Make a difference in someone's life just by putting a smile on their face. That automatically will boost up their confidence to acknowledge somebody else. And those are part of building relationship. That's part of being social. The world needs us. Let's build relationships. Look at what's going on now. Everything is virtual. Why can't you reach out to somebody and build a relationship? Do you know what that person is going through? Just to be there, say hello. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Janisa, and it's always a pleasure.
Oh, Unisa. I'm not too sure if you know the University of South Africa. It goes as Unisa. So when I saw your name, I'm like, okay, he must be from South Africa. But I'm so surprised that you are in London. So Unisa, you've mentioned that in relationships, we'll have to show empathy. We'll have to be transparent because we have humanity within us. So thank you so much, Unisa, for sharing this, this much needed message, reading, building relationships, showing kindness everywhere that you go, and remember to say hello, as you always say. So thank you, Unisa, for sharing this message. Right now we are saving the best for the last. I know she has been struggling, getting connected with us. I almost cried when she said, it keeps on giving me that the passcode is not right. So what am I supposed to do? I'm like, please, Sister Vera, I want to hear your message. Keep on trying. And she managed to be here today. So we are going to Georgia. We are going to Sister Vera Thomas. Vera Thomas is an author, podcast host, certified family mediator, classroom management advocate, trainer, speaker, and a transformational coach and poet. She works with parents, schools, organizations, as well as churches. Vera's life story directed her towards work with organizations that provide hope and empowerment to people like her to better themselves. It is to that end that Vera, against all odds, completed a degree in psychology from, I believe it's Walsh University in Canton, Ohio. She graduated cum laude. I don't know what does that mean, but that's what she graduated from. Her work with companies and organizations spurred her on to acquire a master's degree in organizational management. Ms. Thomas has been an after-school care provider in Akron, Ohio public schools since 2004 and now is pursuing an artist in residency and keynote speaker for schools and organizations that want to make a lasting impact on the lives of the children and adults they serve. Hear her story and think about your own. You will find similarities and great distance that this is her journey, and you also have to think about yours as well. So Vera is available for companies who want to transform their teams or individuals who want to transform their lives. So kings and queens, in the interest of time, please join me and welcome Vera Thomas.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to be here. And first I want to say to Judy, my condolences. I know my brother lost his daughter. And so I know I can't relate as a parent for the loss, but I do know that it is traumatic. And so my prayers are with you. I want to start with a poem that I share with teachers and parents. Children are people too. Show them the good inside of you. Give them praise for tasks they do. See their light as it shines through the light which comes from inside of you. Children need all we desire so much. The love, the hug, the kiss, the tender touch. The attitudes we express to them are the messages they learn to send. From examples like you and me, our children grow to be what they see. Do you show hatred, indifference, or love? Do you yell and scream no matter what in spite of? Have you shared kind words with your child today? Have you truly listened to what they had to say? Or did you just ignore and continue on your way, hoping they get the message and go somewhere and play? Children are an extension of all that we are and the most valued God-given gift by far. There are so many things they must grow to understand. We must guide and lead them with loving, outstretched hands. Teach and treat children as people too. See their light shine bright through the light which comes from inside of you. I wrote that poem when my son was 6 years old. As a single mother, it was a reminder to me as to how I needed to be. Having grown up with all kinds of negative things said to me, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're fat, you're ugly, you're nothing, you'll never be anything. I don't want any child to ever feel like I did as hearing those things. Now, there are things, I work with parents, I have a program called Instilling Greatness in Myself and My Children. And so often parents are coming into parenting with unresolved issues themselves. And it's very difficult to teach what you don't know and to give what you don't have. So I want to kind of talk about things that parents do that can destroy a child's self-esteem. The first thing is yelling. Now, we know there are different types of yelling. I'm talking about the type of yelling when we are frustrated, we are angry, we are just feeling all out of sorts, and we start yelling at our kids. Well, let me tell you, yelling can create a lot of problems. Studies show that yelling, the brainwaves in children that are yelled at constantly is different from children who are not yelled at so much. I had a teacher tell me that she can tell the difference between a child that grows up in an environment where there's constant yelling and children that are not. Yelling causes all kinds of physical problems, emotional problems, mental problems. It can cause depression, anxiety, backaches, stomach aches, headaches. It can cause a child to become introverted because they're afraid to say anything because they're fearful that they're going to be yelled at. Think about it. As an adult, when someone yells at you, how do you feel? Well, it's amplified in children, and it causes all kinds of problems. So how do we deal with, and we can tell when we're getting frustrated, when we're getting angry. So all we need to do is calm ourselves. We may need to say, listen, go to your room and let's talk about this later, because right now mommy's really upset and I need to calm down so that we can talk about the issues. And so I have used, and I'm not saying I never yelled at my son, don't get it twisted. But when we know better, we do better. And so I started learning to calm myself, take deep breaths, count to 10, say peace, be still. And that has helped me tremendously. One of the other things that can cause a child to lose self-esteem and confidence is making a child feel guilty to get them to do what you want them to do. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want to make a child feel guilty. Another thing, oftentimes we throw back in a child's face what they did yesterday, what they did a week ago, what they did a month ago. Well, today is a new day, and this is a clean slate. And so we should begin each day as a clean slate. Even as adults in relationships, we oftentimes think about what happened yesterday, what happened a year ago. Well, we can't move forward looking back. And so that's the same with our children. We don't want our children to focus on what happened back yesterday. We don't want that because, again, you can't move forward looking back. Another thing that oftentimes when dealing with relationships, not only with our kids, but with significant others, oftentimes instead of addressing the behavior, we tend to attack the individual, either by belittling or by name calling. And that does not work. It does not solve the problem, and it does not resolve the issue. So it's very important that we address the behavior, not the person. One of the other things for parents that have more than one or two siblings, comparing, why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? When we do that, we minimize that child and we make them feel worthless. When you consider the second cause of death for 10-year-olds to 26-year-olds is suicide, parents have got to be more engaged in their children's lives. And we can't expect the school to do it. We can't expect the nanny to do it. We can't expect anyone to do it but us. And so looking at ourselves and looking at what we're bringing into parenting, those unresolved issues, we are transferring those onto our children. And then we wonder why our kids are the way that they are. And so I just want to leave you with those nuggets, and I want to challenge you. I want each parent to write down 10 things that you appreciate and value about your child and give it to them. I want your children to do the same for you, because a lot of times parents need to feel validated. A lot of times parents need to understand how their children perceive them from a positive perspective. I had my son do this. Now he's 38 years old, right? And now this is not something that I coined. I saw it in a movie. It was called Otherhood. And Angela Bassett said to her son, I bet you there's not 10 things you can tell me you appreciate about me. Well, in the end, he did do that. And I thought that is an excellent exercise. Excellent. And so I contacted my son and I said, Miles, I want you to do this. And the first thing he said was, oh, Mom. I was like, just do it, just do it. He did it. And I'm telling you, it just warmed my heart. It warmed my heart. And then for me to be able to share how I felt about him, it's a phenomenal exercise. And I want to encourage you parents to do that with your children and have your children do that with you as well. I know my time is up. So there's so much more I can say, but I won't. I'll be quiet. But anyway, I do hope that I've given you some nuggets that will help you understand the impact that you have on your children and how it can impact on their self-esteem and their confidence. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh my goodness, Sister Vera. You know, my mindset is like, keep going. But I'm like looking at the time at the same time, like, no, I just needed to hear this. You've mentioned that we'll have to instill greatness in ourselves as well as our children's. You've mentioned the attitudes and behaviors that can impact our lives and our children. You know, I was really taking notes. You've mentioned that things that parents do that will destroy a child's self-esteem, and it can also create problems. It causes physical and emotional problems. Or you've addressed yelling, making a child feel guilt about getting things done or what they could have done before. We'll have to sit down and address this behavior, not the problem. And you've also mentioned, like with me, I have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old. You've mentioned that we shouldn't compare our children. I'm up for the challenge though. The 10 things that I'll have to write about my children, and then I'm going to challenge them to do the same as the video that we've watched from yesterday, the one that you've sent me. And I believe I'm going to be sharing with the other speakers here. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Vera. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, now we are towards the end of the podcast. So to our viewers online, if you happen to have any questions to any of the speakers today, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat box and we'll come back and attend to your questions. So I am going to be the last and final speaker for today. So before I speak, I am gonna share my bio, because hold on, I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me stop screen sharing and then let me start sharing again. I hope now it's gonna work. Let me see. Perfect. Okay, it's gonna work. I'm gonna share my bio. Oh, okay. Today it's not my day. Technology is not on my side. Hold on. Let me close this. There you go. How is perfect? Okay, I'm gonna share my bio and then I'll come back and speak.
Non-Pumelelo Real Kunene is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Les Brown International speaker. She is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. Real is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective, inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes in a seriously funny way. Real believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. Real's book, Rise to Greater Heights has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. Rial Kunene wears many hats as a professional certified sales manager, CEO, strategist, certified travel counselor, trainer, esthetician, philanthropist, diplomacy protocol officer, international human rights analyst, and a commissioner for OAS. Following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalm 27 and 40. Keep her to rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Rial Kunene!
All right, but before I continue, thank you so much, amazing speakers. Before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you with the raise of hand can say that, Rial, I have never, ever complained in life, never, ever complained in life? Seemingly, I'm in the right platform because, sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Oh, the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Oh, the movie was really disappointing. You name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting, and it gives excuses time to procrastinate from achieving goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It's always much easier to complain than to find a solution. And individuals who whine on a regular basis, they are apt to have a bad health. So next time we'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes, yet they are round? And funny enough, they are cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah, please write this down. Effective leadership. Effective leadership, because great leaders, they have a vision. Not only does a good leader view a situation as a whole, but they are passionate about their work and are committed enough to achieve positive results at any cost. Like Christopher mentioned, that sometimes we need to get out of our comfort zones. So effective leaders, when challenged, they don't give up so easily, but they have an exciting idea of where they are going and what they are trying to accomplish. If I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve maybe in the next 6 months? I am one of them. So I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor, my goal really is so simple, is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you face, and then design a plan of inspired actions to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. Because leaders should also be self-driven. As Vera shared points on how to instill greatness in ourselves, so such dedication is required, since it instills a sense of responsibility in the team members to work harder and in wanting to achieve better results for your company. Good people, you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life, but you'll have to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you'll have to get started to become great in life. Get started today. Get started today. Build your leadership skills today. You don't have to be great to get started. So another attribute on effective leadership is honesty and integrity. The supreme quality of leadership is unquestionable integrity. That's a sign of a growth mindset, as Lakia will say, because great leaders, they exhibit integrity at all times. Without it, no real success is possible. So remember to lead by example, good people. Make sure that your organization reinforces the importance of integrity. Your organization should enforce this to leaders at various levels to see how fair one can be when everyone around them is being dishonest. All you need to do is to chase after success. Always seek passion, good people. Lead by example. It's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many have a challenge saying my name. They butcher my name always. And I always respond to the names they call me, but Nompumelelo, really. Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So now you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success no matter what comes my way. I love to chase after success. Please write this down, write this down. Decision-making capabilities. Decision-making capabilities. It was Tony Robbins who once said, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there is no action, you haven't truly decided. And trust me, this message stirs something within me, because a good leader isn't simply empowered to make decisions due to their position, but economy goes on to recognize that great leaders know their limits and involve other voices and perspectives into their decision making. And by the way, thank you, Judy, for telling your story from life's hardships and tragedies with the goal of restoring faith in all of us. Really, I've been moved. So all leaders must occasionally make difficult decisions, decisions that will require an authority and finality that will not please everyone. So good people, this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, 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 don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and be creative? Be creative. As a good leader, you must be ready to transform your creative spirit into an innovation that sets you apart from the rest. And yes, Angela, I am ready to create my extraordinary life. So it is up to you to think outside the box as an individual when any issues arise. The thing that separates a leader from a follower is that a leader is creative and innovative. A leader is creative and innovative to come up with unique ideas and turn those ideas and goals into a reality. As flight attendants always say, that put on your oxygen mask first before you assist others, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down. So in order for you to join the elite club of good leaders, you need to focus on results, on what must be achieved by you and your team. So Eunice, with your straight from your heart, high energy, I've been motivated into achieving what I thought was impossible. So as a leader is not the one who secures a commanding position in a firm, but you must have all these qualities I've mentioned to focus on the needs of your company and the situation. Lisa mentioned that we need to manage our emotions with the power of pause. And I know she also went into details on success at the same time. And I am really viewing success your way, Lisa. So great leaders focus on strengthening themselves and in others. Why? I'm glad you've asked that, because if you lack some of these qualities, then you might struggle to make the mark in the world of leadership. So good people, with all these messages from these amazing speakers, I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, I'll have to make a difference. I'll have to make a difference within me, to those around me, to those who look at me as an inspiration. But in order for you to make that difference, really, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like the hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're the giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny because even with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the mindset that we need, the lion mindset, in order for us to be effective leaders of the century. Because I believe that we all rise together and we all rise to greater heights. And we rise by lifting each other up. We are only here to fix each other's crown, not to tear anyone down. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature, it acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. I want to encourage you, if you're listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars and show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes. Since the phoenix has to burn first, die, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. I am not too sure if you want me to remind you over and over and over again that your setback is your setup for your comeback. How many of you have ever had that? Your setback is your setup for your comeback. If I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months, but here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish, but many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has a better plan for every one of us. Your objective is what you are designed for and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gifts and following God's idea will show you your reason in life today. So my everyday inspiration is Mr. Les Brown. He once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, and what books will die with you? And Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the visions, all the goals, all the talents, all the skills have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me listening to this message, it gave me sleepless nights. And I am proud today to introduce Rise to Greater Heights book before you. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into, thank you. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. And I didn't stop there. You know, if you remember it very well, May 25th last year, George Floyd died in police custody in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe that everyone is born free and everyone has the right to life. So I wrote the book, Human Rights, which is God-given fundamental rights and freedoms. It doesn't matter where we were born or what kind of family we were born into. I believe that we all have 30 universal rights. We were born with these human rights. It's not like we've been given by the government. And I didn't stop there. We came together. I'm going to share both books here. It's Resilience to Greatness and Cultivate Your Mindset for Success. Resilience to Greatness, all Les Brown, 15 speakers around the world. We came together with one mentality. Resilience to Greatness and Cultivate Your Mindset. It's 17 different authors around the world, because I believe that it's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. And I also have a free transformation guide for you. It's available on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. With this free transformation guide, trust me, you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, resilience to greatness, mental health, emotional intelligence, and many, many more topics, including spiritual growth, as well as successful parenting. You know, growing up, I didn't have much in life because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth, but I had everything because of my mama's love. So I love you so much, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Nompumelelo, Riel, Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Thank you. Oh my God, we are at the end of the podcast. So please, amazing speakers, we respect your time. At this moment, please feel free to share your final thoughts on effective leadership. So any speaker can just jump in, share your final thoughts before we wrap up. And I'm going to go and check if we have any questions being posted by our audience. So share your final thoughts and then we'll wrap up.
Well, I think you did a dynamic job in sharing all of the things, that just truly a culmination of everything that we've shared already, my sister. What an outstanding presentation. Thank you so very much. Thank you for this time. Thank you for allowing me to expand more of who I am through this wonderful platform of speakers that I now have connection with. It's just so wonderful seeing people that I've shared the stage with before, and then now sharing this awesome and amazing platform. Leaders, remember, self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. Please go out and care on yourself.
I'd like to just thank you for the opportunity of sharing and being a part of this office, this platform. What I would like to share is that, leadership is not about position, but it's about influence, and that we are all unique. And just take the time to learn the value of who you are, and your uniqueness has a purpose to it. When I said rejection was a matter of you understanding your value and where you fit, go where you fit. I want to give you a freebie today, and it's a gift for me having me on this platform, and it's called The Art of Living on Purpose, and it's a free workshop that you're going to get, and all you have to do is click bit.ly/purpose champ, bit.ly/purpose champ. And we talked a lot about purpose today. So I want to help you to find out who you are, where you're going, why you need to be there, how you're going to get there, and when you're going to do it. And that seminar is going to be helpful for you. Also, since we're talking about leadership, my first book just came out this year. It's called Everyday Leadership for Everyday People. So it's teaching you how to embrace that uniqueness and live life on purpose as the leader that you're supposed to be. You can reach me on champim.org. My name is Chris Hampton. And again, I'm thankful. I'm looking forward to connecting with you and building those relationships to go to the next level. Thank you.
Well, if I may just hop in here for a second. A leader, from the day you were born, you were a leader. Think about it. When you're at a park, you want mommy and daddy to chase you. You want your friends to come to you first. You are not your born leader. A leader is someone that is willing to use their talent to educate others. That is a leader. And you possess that. A leader is someone that is willing to take challenges, think out the box. That is a leader. And you also possess that. A leader is someone that do not see limits. That is a leader. And you possess that. So what is it that you cannot do? You have the ability within you. What is it that you cannot achieve? When it's only you that sets your limit. My name is Unisa Camara. I am accessible on every social media platform. Or you can go to my website, www.unisacamara.com. You can check out my organization. I never say mine, I say our company. The family, that's CamaraYouths.com. That's where we train leaders. Well, let me rephrase that. That's where we support leaders, because every single one of us are leaders. Thank you.
I absolutely enjoy being here. Thank you so much. I am Lakia Crutchfield, also known as Kia Chronicles. You see my website here. on my picture. I can be reached on social media platforms as Kia Chronicles. When you go to my website and you click to reach out or communicate or connect with me, you will also receive 6 common barriers to effective communication. That is my freebie. I love giving it out because a lot of people don't know and understand why people don't move past or grow. It's communication barriers.
The Bible talks about the sheep know my voice and a stranger would not follow. Every leader has a unique sound, a unique voice that their sheep, their followers need. And I leave with everyone that is listening is to discover that voice so that when people want to connect with you, they can identify with your voice. So I train leaders and speakers and coaches to establish that voice and to speak with fire. I'm so excited about the new book with Les Brown and Dr. Cheryl Wood, Unleashing Your Undeniable Impact. And I wrote about the fire speaking method and how we can use our voice to speak with fire. And I created 2 amazing freebies that I love to give out. One is a speaker's ebook, 6 qualities every female speaker need to be transformational. And then 5 things every speech need to be transformational. You can get that from our website at www.angelabrandenterprise.com. You can leave me a message and I can send you a link. In the tagline, just put, I want to speak with fire. And I know, and I will send you those links to get those. And remember, a great leader is committed about leading the people and that's willing to grow and expand to reach their greater heights to lead effectively. Thank you.
I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody on this platform. We have phenomenal leaders here, and look out to the leaders. Although as leaders, we also are here to support each other. If you're struggling with something, take a look around at all the leaders, reach out, because we lift each other and help each other out as well. And I also want to leave out there that if you know anyone that is struggling with grief, or you yourself is struggling in that area, feel free to come to my website, judyamber.com, and I would love to help out anybody that needs any kind of assistance in going through their grief journey.
This has truly been amazing, and I have truly enjoyed, and thank you so much, Riel, for having me be a part of such a dynamic group of leaders. Thank you so much. I can be reached on all social media. If you want to direct message me, I am on Instagram, vera.thomas7.779. I also have a podcast, and on my Facebook, you can go to the Vera Thomas Show and DM me there. My website is under construction, and I've developed programs for parents as well as youth, and I've worked over 40 years in my career. I also wanted to let you know that I do have some books, and you can go to bit.ly/Vera Thomas books. There are several books that I have either co-authored, and I'm in the process of writing as well. So I have one book in particular I think would be very important. It's called Parenting with Uncommon Courage. And I'm a co-author for that book, and you can find it on that link that I just mentioned. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. And I can see today we have a visitor, Nikki Coley. Do you want to say something, Nikki?
Can you hear me?
Oh, Judy, okay. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Did you guys, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Did you guys hear me earlier? Okay.
Yes. I'm not too sure if Nikki wants to say something, but if not, oh my goodness, thank you so much, amazing speakers. Really, just to take your time from your busy schedule just to be with us. With me, honestly, I've been inspired, and I'll go back and watch the replay over and over and over again. And to our audience online, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all the messages being shared by all the amazing speakers today, you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to rise to greater heights. Please do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Yabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody set the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as I'm